This means even more than we think. Stephon Castle, our star rookie, the number 4 overall pick in this year's draft, just won the Rising Stars MVP, and he himself told everybody he is not done for All-Star Weekend, and we are going to talk about all of that here on Spurs Digest with your host, Keenan Warner. If you guys haven't yet, make sure you guys take a spur of the moment to get every Spurs moment, and don't miss anything by hitting that subscribe button so you can get all of the great content we have coming for you daily. But this guy, 2025 Rising Stars MVP, the talent that he displayed on the floor Friday night just goes to show you how good this man can be. The announcers were raving over it. Vince Carter, Candace Parker. Candace Parker is pumped to have him on her team for Sunday. And Stephon Castle said he's not even close to being done with his weekend. He wants a sweep of the whole weekend. We're about to get into it right here. But San Antonio Spurs rookie Stephon Castle said the Rising Stars MVP trophy he hoisted Friday night isn't the only hardware he plans to win during the NBA All-Star Weekend. Castle led Team C, coached by Chris Mullin, over Team G, coached by Jeremy Lin. Shout out to Jeremy Lin, by the way, man. Lin's sanity was insane. But shout out to Jeremy Lin. To a decisive 25-14 win in the final. He scored 11. One other place said he scored 12 points. Regardless, 11 to 12 points out of the 25 that were scored, collecting 3 assists, one of them going on to Keontae George for the game-winning three-pointer. This team was down 12-8. And obviously that's not saying a whole lot. It's a 4-point game. But they're only playing to 25. That was the target score. So the other team was halfway there. They were down 12-8. And what does Stephon Castle do? Gets downhill, gets to the basket. Gets downhill, gets to the basket. Oh, if I miss, someone else is going to miss, I'm going to get the rebound and put it up. And then it gets the team rolling. Then Dalton Connect starting to get to the basket. He follows that up. Then Dalton Connect hits a big 3 once you start to get in rhythm. And so this team ended up going on, I think they ended on a 17-2 run against this. And I understand that they're G League players to rookies, but all these G League players can play. They are maybe not at that same level as every rookie, but they can definitely be on the floor with them, and they deserve to be on the floor with them talent-wise. They just haven't gotten their shot, their opportunity. But Stephon Castle, out of not all the first and second year players, but a vast majority of the first and second year players and G League players just said, my night. Guys, I got it. I'm going to hit the game winner in the first one. I'm going to clearly be the best player in the second game. It's my night. Don't worry about it. And he is not done at all. He even said himself when talking about this that to be a part of the game-winning bucket in both, it means a lot. And yes, of course, it's going to mean a lot when you have a guy like this. I mean, who doesn't want to be a part of the game-winning basket? Who doesn't want to be that guy? And then he went on talking afterwards. He got interviewed, obviously, has the trophy MVP. He said, yeah, I've definitely thought about it. This thinking about was his three-peat. Talking about winning the Rising Stars MVP, which he already has, then going to win the dunk contest, and then winning All-Star Game MVP, which he has in the new format. They have this team, and then they have 3 other teams that are going to be competing against each other in a semi-round robin tournament. It's a new format. We'll see how it happens, but I've definitely thought about it. I want to take it one step at a time, though. Get back to me tomorrow after I win the dunk contest. The confidence oozing off of this man is just amazing. Team C won its first group game by Castle hitting the deciding jump shot to beat Team T, coached by Tim Hardaway Sr., 40-34. In the first 2 games, their target score was 40. In the final game, it's 25. Overall, so basically, they played 65 points. So they obviously scored 40, then they scored 25. So they played to 65. So say this is halftime or mid-third, maybe, depending on the game. But anywhere between halftime and the third quarter. And Stephon Castle essentially went 18, 7, and 6 and had half of the points in the championship game. So, I mean, he on a 36-minute, like on a real game pace, he's on pace for a 28, 9, and 8 game. He's looking at triple-double status is what he was on pace for in the game. Phenomenal. And then next, we go into this All-Star Saturday night, the pinnacle. You could argue that the three-point contest is taking over with the fun and everything, but this is still the last event. The pinnacle. We've had great performances throughout the entirety of the slam dunk contest. We've got Max McClung, who is going there to defend his title, and Stephon Castle being my favorite to go steal it from him. He has a chance to own this entire weekend. He really does. And the thing about it, I understand that the NBA All-Star Weekend doesn't hold the same merit as it used to. But when you have guys talking like this about, I'm feeling great, I'm feeling confident, I think I got some dunks in my bag that people have not seen before, and no, I'm not celebrating until Sunday, I want to win this thing. When you have people in that mindset, ready to go, ready to put on a show for the people, that is what's going to bring the All-Star Game back and gain the lore that it once had. Of course, dunk contest. We haven't had a phenomenal, we walked out of it like, wow, that was an amazing dunk contest since 2020. That was the Aaron Gordon versus Derrick Jones Jr. Obviously, Mac McClung has put on a show over the last couple years. I've loved what he's been able to do in the dunk contest. He's really brought, his first performance was better than his second performance, but still, I think that what he's done in the dunk contest has been spectacular. And a lot of it's hard because the dunks that you have, a lot of people have already done for the most part. And so you're not really going to be able to do anything incredibly new. The thing about it, though, is you have to dress it up, you've got to make it look like something, and you've got to put on a show. That is the point of All-Star Weekend. You put on a show. No longer are you doing crazy things. But I mean, we think back to Mike taking off from the free throw line. That was obviously something that people weren't doing at that time. Obviously, it was a little half step in, but we don't really care. It's Mike taking off from the free throw in 88. We talk about the spud web going between the legs, a backwards dunk. We think of Vince Carter, his whole 2000 run, 360 windmill reverse, the bounce, and then obviously the between the legs, which right now isn't crazy. But it's also how you make people feel. Like Zach LaVine off a lob, the 360, and just how cleanly he flushes it by looking at the rim. It's why LeBron's always made me so upset by not doing it, because you don't have to be perfectly spectacular if you're able to put on a show. Dwight Howard went into a phone booth, came out of the phone booth with a cape. We were going insane. They threw a lob. It was going to be a lob from the free throw line. He barely got halfway there and just threw the ball in. Goes a 50. It's memorable. Is it one of the best dunks of all time? No. But you want to know what? It put on a show for that night. And Stephon Castle, I hope you realize that's the route that you need to take to make sure you put on a show. Don't try to do too crazy of things. Obviously, push yourself to the limit. We know you have all the bounce in the world. Push yourself to the limit. Go out there and put on a show. And make sure you make your first dunk. He even talked to Vince Carter about it, about how important it is to make that first dunk when he talked to him a couple weeks back. And Vince was like, yeah, you gotta. That first dunk is so important. You got to make your first one. You can't keep missing and going back because obviously you are deducted points for it. So, Stephon Castle, I believe in you. I believe you can get the sweep of the weekend, and you're going to do your best to do so. And let me know what you guys thought about his Rising Stars performance. Let me know what you guys think about his dunk contest performance now and even afterwards. Come back to this video, comment on it. But I want to know what your thoughts are. Do you think he can win it? Or does it matter to you guys? Because I know the All-Star Weekend doesn't have the same luster as it used to have. But we can't get it back to where it once was if we don't care about it now. So we've got to try to do our best to care about it. Of course, the fans do. And then it comes down to the players, of course. But the mentality of I want to win this thing, I'm not going to go out and celebrate. I'm going out there to really put on a show for the people. This is the mindset of a young guy who can go and try to help bring this thing back. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. This has been Spurs Digest with your host, Keenan Warner. I appreciate all of you guys, and I will be seeing all of you guys very soon.